Welcome to Cousin Records. Today, we take a journey into the life and legacy of one of Jamaica's most profound and influential reggae artists of all time, the legendary Bob Marley. From the streets of Trench Town to the world stage, his music, message, and spirit continue to inspire generations with love, unity, and freedom. Sit back, feel the vibration, and let's look into the life of the man who made reggae a global voice. Bob Marley, reggae music in Jamaica, the birthplace, the early life of Bob Marley. When you hear the word reggae, what comes to mind? The offbeat rhythm, the deep bass lines, songs of freedom, struggle, love, and resistance. But reggae is more than music. Reggae is Jamaica's heartbeat. Today, we're traveling to the Caribbean island that gave the world one of its most powerful musical movements. And we're telling the story of one man whose life became inseparable with reggae itself. His name, Robert Nesta Marley, known to the world simply as Bob Marley. In this video, we'll explore how reggae music was born in Jamaica, the environment that shaped Bob Marley, his childhood, family, and early struggles, and how he created his very first song. This is the story of reggae's birthplace and the birth of a legend. To understand Bob Marley, we must first understand Jamaica. Jamaica is a small island in the Caribbean, but its cultural impact is massive. By the early 1900s, Jamaica was still under British colonial rule. Life was hard for most people, especially for the poor, rural, and black population. Music became a form of survival. Musical roots. Before reggae, Jamaica had African drumming traditions brought by enslaved Africans. Mento music, a folk style with acoustic instruments. Ska, fast-paced and joyful. Rocksteady, slower and more emotional. By the late 1960s, these styles blended together, slowed down, and deepened in message. That sound became reggae. Reggae spoke about poverty, injustice, faith, resistance, and hope. And the man who would become reggae's global voice was born before reggae even had a name. Bob Marley was born on the 6th of February 1945 in a small rural village called 9 Mile, located in St. Anne Parish, Jamaica. His full birth name was Robert Nesta Marley. His parents, mother, Cedella Booker, a young black Jamaican woman, only 18 years old when Bob was born. Father, Norval Sinclair Marley. In rural Jamaica, this was not easy. Norval Marley died when Bob was still a child, leaving Cedella to raise her son alone. Despite hardship, Bob's mother was loving, strong, and deeply influential in his life. 9 Mile was quiet, spiritual, and surrounded by nature. Bob grew up playing barefoot, running through hills, listening to stories, absorbing African traditions and folklore. This environment shaped his soul. Early exposure to music. Music was everywhere. Church hymns, traditional drumming, radio broadcasts from Kingston. Bob loved rhythm from a young age. He would tap beats, hum melodies, and listen closely to sounds around him. But rural life had limits. When Bob was still a child, his mother made a life-changing decision. Cedella Marley moved Bob to Kingston, Jamaica's capital city, in search of work and opportunity. They settled in Trench Town, one of the poorest neighborhoods in Jamaica. Life in Trench Town was crowded, violent, poor, but rich in culture and creativity. This was where reggae would truly take shape. Bob was now surrounded by sound systems, street musicians, singers, drummers, and poets. Meeting future legends. In Trench Town, Bob met Neville Bunny Livingston, Bunny Wailer, Peter McIntosh, Peter Tosh. These friendships would change music history. They shared dreams, poverty, and a deep love for music. Bob Marley didn't have formal music training. What he had was passion, curiosity, discipline. He learned by watching older musicians, practicing harmonies, writing lyrics about real life. Bob was especially influenced by American R&B artists, soul music, and Jamaican ska performers. But his lyrics were different. Even as a teenager, Bob wrote about struggle, identity, spiritual awareness. Music became his voice. Bob Marley recorded his first song in 1962 when he was just 17 years old. Title, Judge Not. Producer, Leslie Kong. The song was inspired by a biblical message, Judge not, that ye be not judged. This was powerful for such a young artist. Why this song matters. It showed Bob's spiritual depth. It introduced his message-driven style. It marked the beginning of his professional music career. Although Judge Not didn't make him famous immediately, it opened the door. Shortly after, Bob, Bunny, and Peter would form the Wailers, and reggae history would truly begin. Bob Marley's journey started in a small Jamaican village through poverty and hardship, fueled by music, faith, and truth. Before fame, before global recognition, before reggae conquered the world, there was a boy from 9 Mile with a message, and that message would change music forever. If you enjoyed this deep dive into reggae history and Bob Marley's early life, like this video, subscribe for more Caribbean music stories, and comment below what reggae artists should we cover next. One love, one heart,